paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Good morning and welcome to Heart Mooresville, your small town radio show with a big heart. I'm your host, Christine Patterson, and good morning co-host Don Smyle.
Good morning. I am going to make a suggestion.
Oh, what? Do tell.
We need to have a radio outside today.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It is so nice out.
Yes, and it's been so cold.
I know.
I'm so ready.
Oh, this weather is fantabulous.
Yeah. Can we do that production? Can we broadcast outside? I think we got some thumbs up.
We just need, like 175,000 feet of cable.
Right.
And then we can go outside.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for spring. I love spring weather. I'm ready for it.
And I know we're going to get, we'll get another cold snap. We always do. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
It's only February.
Wishful thinking.
I can't believe it's February.
I know. What is it? February 4th?
4th?
4th today?
4th?
Yeah.
10 days away from, just a little special thing at the greeting card company created.
It's the month of love, the month of love. The whole month, really.
The whole month of love. All right.
Well, we have some special guests in the studio today. We are welcoming Laura Ingram, CEO of FeedNC, and Shelby Bowen, Communications Coordinator from FeedNC. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're so excited to talk about everything that FeedNC does for the community, which is a lot. It's definitely beyond, soup kitchen and feeding the community. There's so much more going on that we're going to talk about. So can't wait to dig into that. Before we do, we like to keep our listeners informed. And so we'll have our In the News segment.
Brought to you by the Mooresville Oracle, also
That's right.
known as Christine Patterson.
That's right.
So,
all right. So
cue the music.
We got to dance. We got to do our
Hey,
In the News dance.
I'm actually liking this vibe a little bit better.
I like it.
Yeah.
In the News dance. Okay. So something really cool that I want to check out. I have not seen it, so I'm just reporting the news, okay? But there is a moving artistic tribute to deep-rooted Mooresville families' farming legacy. So there's this very colorful cow that's it's at the McDonald's that's in Harris Farms, which is a mixed-use development project on like 136 acres down on NC3 and Kistler Farm Road. The property where the cow is placed was previously part of the agriculture and dairy farm operation owned by the Harris farm family. I can't speak English today. With roots in Mooresville dating back to the mid-1800s. So there's, this historical element. Now, the cow's name is Emmeline, because that's a great name.
Is it Emmeline or Emmeline?
Emmeline.
Okay.
Great name for a cow.
Okay.
Sounds very country. And this unique animal artwork is an example of the growing cow parade trend. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
I have not.
Enlighten us.
Okay, so the Cow Parade, it's an international public art exhibit that it's been featured in cities all over the world. And basically, it's fiberglass sculptures of cows that are decorated by local artists. So we actually have a little video to play, and this is one of New York's exhibits that they had, a Cow Parade exhibit for.
We've all just gone through a horrible year and a half. And when we were contacted about doing the cow parade, this was, almost a year ago, I think. It was like, wouldn't it be great to do something fun and magical for New York City? I mean, we serve people at God's Love We Deliver across the city. And it was a way to do two things: bring a lot of fun and bring art out into communities, and also to make sure that people around the city knew about God's Love We Deliver. So if anybody needs us, they should refer people to us. So it just is a perfect partnering. The artists have volunteered their time and their heart.
Yeah.
I want one of those in my office.
Very cool.
Just going to say it out loud because those are cool.
Right? So it's a little bit of public art.
Yeah.
And now we don't have maybe the full parade, but we've got one, right?
Okay.
In Mooresville. So they actually partnered with Art Pop Street Gallery in Charlotte, and they were able to connect them with artist Tina Albirni for the project. So she was the one that did all the painting, and she said that the design and painting of Emmeline was three layers of paint and an auto body finish, which was 100 hours of work.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Okay, we're gonna have to get pictures of this because
Yeah.
I need to see Emmeline.
Yeah,
Right.
she's very colorful.
Yeah.
So
I have a feeling we're gonna have pop-up cows now. I think we're gonna have a lot of
Yeah.
these. You know,
it's cool.
I want one of those in my office, but I'm even thinking about Parks and Recreation. We need to get one of those.
We
Stick it
need a
in-
cow parade.
Cow parade.
Right?
Right.
Yes.
That would be cool.
I like it. So yeah, cow parade's coming to Mooresville. Another thing I thought I would keep everyone updated on is that the parking deck in downtown. So we have been talking about having a parking deck in downtown for a long time. So the Mooresville commissioners actually endorsed a resolution that awarded about $250,000 to the Balfour Beatty firm for the first phase of pre-construction. This is like design work and logistics that are related to the plans for the multi-deck municipal parking structure, and it'll also enhance the surrounding surface area of that 100 block on North Church Street between Center and Moore. The parking deck is obviously going to address a lot of the downtown needs that we've been talking about over the last many years. Excuse me, and it's needed to accommodate the anticipated mix of downtown area development that's occurred over the last few years. The current vision for the project includes 450 parking deck spaces, surface parking, updates to alleyways, street enhancements, underground utility, and more. And the pre-construction analysis will be able to tell us what's practical and what's feasible for us to pursue.
Yeah, I mean, clearly parking is always an issue anywhere, but in downtown Mooresville for sure. And,
Yeah.
And given the numerous events that you and your team put on that bring thousands of people to downtown Mooresville,
Yes.
The more parking options, the better.
Yeah.
So
I think it's needed, and I'm glad to see it moving forward. Now, this is just the first phase, but this will tell us what we need and what we can do.
And just an update, Christine and I, neither of us have anything to do with the creation and construction of this project. Disclaimer. But
we're
just keeping you in the know.
We're just keeping
We're
you
just
informed.
keeping you in the know. So.
And then lastly, I think this is in your wheelhouse, Don. You were in the news lately for the first annual Summer Camp Expo. What's going on there?
Well, the first thing I want to do is acknowledge those who are creating it. Big shout out to our recreation manager, Latasha Singletary, and her team, along with my marketing staff, who have done an amazing job creating the first annual Summer Camp Expo, which will be held February 15th at the Charles Mack Citizen Center. It is free. It is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the intent is summer camp is a big deal in the community.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, just sheer numbers, Parks and Recreation is not able to accommodate everybody. And so Latasha and her team said, well, let's get an opportunity to get all the summer camp options available in one room and allow parents to explore all those opportunities. So, this is kind of a one-stop shop for showcasing a variety of camps, programs, and services for kids of all ages. So again, Charles Mack Citizen Center, February 15th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., free. So if you want to know about summer camp, this is where you need to be.
That's right.
So we'll talk about it again as we get near the end of the show. But in the meantime, we have some amazing guests that we're going to talk to when we come back here on Heart Mooresville.
Stick around. More Heart Mooresville with host Christine Patterson and Don Smyle is coming up on WSIC. Local starts here.
We're going to be flirting with record warmth this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. It'll feel like an early spring day as high temperatures climb into the mid and even upper 70s for this afternoon. But enjoy that because tomorrow is much different. Extra clouds start to roll in mid-40s overnight. We'll only get back into the mid-50s for your Wednesday. Cloudy and cool and a chance for a couple of showers Wednesday evening and into the day on Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like iCats Public Transit.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Bin 110 in Cornelius presents 3 consecutive nights of live music. On Thursday, February 6th, Anna Mertson performs. On Friday night, finalists from season 19 of The Voice, John Sullivan takes the stage, while Classically Rockin' offers up a big show on Saturday. Enjoy live music performances at Bin 110 in Cornelius this weekend. Calling all superheroes, wizards, and fandom fanatics, the Statesville Comic-Con is this Saturday at the Statesville Civic Center. The show runs from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets are only $5 for adults, $2 for those 12 years old and younger, and free admission for age 3 and younger. Make plans to bring your cosplay A-game, snag some epic merch, and enjoy all things comics, games, and pop culture. Whether you're a Marvel maniac, a Jedi master, or just love the vibe, the Statesville Civic Center is the place to be this Saturday for the Statesville Comic-Con. Sunday is National Pizza Day, and Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville is ready for you. From 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., the kitchen and bar are open for dine-in or take-out. Come and enjoy some good food and beverages or grab a to-go order in case anyone may be stopping by or you are visiting someone else. Come celebrate National Pizza Day Sunday with Ghostface Brewing. Get a behind-the-scenes look at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Dirt Track, and ZMAX Dragway. Learn the illustrious history of each track while taking in the sights and sounds of America's home for racing. Check out the special Race Week tours that can take you behind the scenes of some of the most famous race teams ever, or show you what the Speedway looks like when it gets ready to host a NASCAR weekend. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for more details and information on daily tours and experiences. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Looking good, Mooresville. I mean, you're sitting at that traffic light too. Might as well be looking at something. Heart Mooresville continues now on WSIC.
All right, welcome back to Heart Mooresville here on WSIC. I'm your host, Don Smyle, along with the Mooresville Oracle, Christine Patterson. And I just want to say very quickly, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Talking about cows
Pork.
made me hungry.
Yep. You're always hungry, but so am I.
No, I'm always hungry. You're always eating.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Whether I'm hungry or not.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we are here talking with Lara Ingram, the CEO of FeedNC, and Shelby Bowen, Communications Coordinator. And so we'll get to it. So I guess, Laura, tell us a little bit first about you and your background and how you came to be at FeedNC. And then we'll talk about what the mission of the FeedNC is.
Sure. So I'm originally from Kentucky, northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area. I'm a social worker, so I went to school to help families. Started 25 years ago in foster care and adoption, so I have worked with families the entire time, directly with families for years and years. Served youth that had mental health issues, substance abuse issues. So what I really love is helping people and working with people. And then my family ended up here about 12 years ago. And first we landed here in Cornelius and love this community very much. And I did a couple other things when we first got here, when we got settled and got the kids in school and all that. But then I found the Mooresville Soup Kitchen. About 10 years ago, they were looking for a leader, and it was kind of a point of transition for the soup kitchen at that point. They were deciding where they were going to go in the future. Were they going to stay kind of doing the same mission that they've always done, or were they going to evolve? And that was what was so exciting to me about being a part of it, was that it was innovation in that moment. The board was willing to do some new, fun, exciting things. And so I've been there for 10 years. Love every minute of it, love what I do for a living. I still get to talk with the people, but not as much. You know, I'm in charge of doing sort of the strategy at this point, but I love that too. And I love being part of something that is really thriving, and we know that we're going to be able to be stable for the future, for the community. And then we moved to Mooresville about 6 years ago. So I live in that community at this point and love the people, love everything about Mooresville.
Well, I mean, ultimately, you may not be talking directly with them, but what you do actually does speak to them, because you know your vision and what you're creating in terms of a strategy, it affects so many people. So you're actually speaking to them in a directly way, right? And so you're still impacting them in a positive manner. So that's fantastic.
Are you loving the new building? I guess it's not new anymore, but
it feels new every day, and it feels a bit like a dream, you know, from what we were used to. I mean, in the old building, we literally had to jump over each other, and I'm not exaggerating, to get to a desk or to get to what you needed to do for the day. And then we had to reinvent the space. It was about 5,000 square feet. We had to reinvent it 4 and 5 times a day to do all the things that we did. So it was a lot of moving tables and moving chairs and all that. Right. So yes, we feel incredibly blessed. It was a project that I think a lot of people thought would never happen. Those
Yeah.
numbers are hard to raise, in a
Sure.
relatively small town. And so I feel incredibly proud to be a part of it. And I think all the donors and the volunteers and the people that were a part of that project feel like it is a part of their legacy in their
Yeah.
entire life, that they're very proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and definitely more space than you were working with before. So I can see how that would be just make the day easier for sure.
So, for those who don't know, can you give us kind of the Clip Notes version of FeedNC and their mission and kind of the goals of that organization?
Sure. So our mission is to create connections to food, education, and resources as a catalyst for change. And the goal is real change. So it's not a Band-Aid. It's not to have people coming, preferably not for decades at a time. The goal is real change. And so everything that we do at this point is focused on food. We do try to stay pretty tight with the mission so that we don't try to do all things for all people. That's not really possible on a small nonprofit. So we focus on feeding, and then we focus on education, and we focus on connecting people to different resources, which is primarily partnerships in the community.
Right. And I can't imagine, I mean, I'm sure you have partnerships with other nonprofits like, Christian Mission and some of those other organizations. So, how do you work with those other organizations? Like, what role do they play in that?
Absolutely. Yeah, we could not do what we do without partners, because we don't do things like affordable housing or utility assistance or substance abuse or mental health treatment. There's all kinds of things that make a family stable that we
Right.
don't do. And so we need our partners all day, every day. We make referrals out to them and then have great relationships where we will be able to follow back up and make sure that that person has stabilized. We also have incredible partnerships with local businesses. They're very important to us too, and a lot of that is around volunteerism. We have great corporate groups that come in and bring 25 people and help out that day. So it is a group effort to make FeedNC run effectively, and our budget is relatively small, honestly, from a financial standpoint. A third of our budget is in kind, which is all food that is donated. And then the other third of our budget is volunteers. So we only have 20 paid staff and about 100 volunteers every day. So we really do, about 3 times as much as the financial budget that we raise.
Wow. And we've kind of heard some of your successes that you've told us about getting a new building, being financially sustained for the next few years. What are some of your challenges? Like, what are your biggest needs right now?
Definitely volunteers. We have wonderful volunteers in this community. It is amazing to me. Some people come full time. It's like a full time job, 5 days a week. And a lot of those are retired folks who have the time to give back, which is amazing. But we do have a constant need for volunteers to have 100 people in that building every day doing a lot of it's manual labor. So it's physically demanding work, and a lot of our volunteers are retired, so physically demanding work is very difficult for them. So strong backs are basically one of our biggest needs. Your average 22-year-old man is not really volunteering most days. So it's a little bit of a dichotomy between the kind of physical work that we have to do with a lot of food that needs to be moved.
Sure.
So volunteerism for sure, and then the other big thing is that we just want more people to know, we built this building, we have the resources to help. And I'm always amazed every day by when people say, I didn't know you were here, and my family was really struggling, and there's nothing in our pantry, and my kids were not going to eat at the end of the week, and I didn't know that you were here. So any way that people can help us, just like you are today, get the word out about the fact that we want to help, and we're there to help families.
So how does one utilize your services? Meaning, what's the process by which somebody would go through to be part of that?
Yes, our website is feednc.org, and all they have to do is get to the website, and then there's a real easy little pop-up that comes up, and they do an online application. If they have technology deficits, they can call us, and we'll walk them through it. But the majority of people do great with the online application, and then we'll text them, we'll call them to make sure that we get them in for an assessment interview, which we do very quickly, usually in a matter of days, and we try to get them approved. They can also just walk in the door Monday through Friday. We do not ever turn anyone away for food, so we'll send them with emergency food that day They do go through a process, so they have to have income eligibility once we meet with them, and then they have to live in our zip codes that we serve. So that's kind of long-term eligibility, but we will give anyone food that day. And they can always eat breakfast or lunch Monday through Friday free of charge in Donahue's Open Door, which is our community dining room. So there's something for everyone.
Nice. What type of food donations are you most in need of?
Honestly, anything. We do not turn away food.
Yeah.
Cooked food, we're cautious about just to make
Sure.
sure that it's been stored correctly, like if it comes from an event or something
Sure.
like that. But if we know it's been stored, we'll even take that. Any kind of perishables or non-perishables, we appreciate. The greatest needs are really healthy foods. We're trying very hard not to give people nothing but bread and pastry and 65 cakes every day.
Sure.
It just doesn't, it produces long-term health issues and things like that. So we're trying to avoid that. So we did put an acre garden in our backyard, which is one of the things we're really proud of. So we're growing our own fruits and vegetables. Those can be hard things because they don't survive donations very well. So most of what we get as far as from the stores are canned goods and dry goods and things like that, which are very helpful.
Right.
But we really do need healthy proteins and fruits and vegetables.
So do you have relationships with local businesses that, create food options for the general public? And are they supplying you with what they're not able to sell or at the end of the day or the end of the week?
Absolutely. So our biggest partner is Second Harvest, which is out of Charlotte. And we get connections to all of our local stores and big boxes, grocery stores. So we get to go and pick up 5 days a week from stores locally. And they give us things that are sort of at the end of their life cycle. They're still very healthy. They're within use-by dates, but they're not allowed to sell them anymore.
Sure.
So that's a staple of our operation. We have amazing volunteers who go out in their pickup trucks 5 days a week and spend an hour going to the Food Lion down the street, and then they bring that food to us.
Sure.
And that's a great volunteer opportunity. We're always looking for drivers who can do that. And it's simple for somebody who's got an hour and a half to do it. But we could not survive without the food donations that go through Second Harvest and then are our local stores. 95% of the food that we bring in comes from that network of stores.
Now, you mentioned events. If somebody is hosting events, obviously we have a lot of events in Mooresville, and I know we've even tried to sync up on some of ours. What is that criteria that you're looking for, if they had food in bulk or catering, or like our Bands, Brews, and Barbecue Festival, we're going to, have all this barbecue made. What does that look like? What do you need out of that?
Absolutely. We would take and would need all of it. We seal and freeze little meals for shut-ins as well and take them. So pre-made food is beautiful for that process. If you could tell us in advance, that'd be great, because then we could come and pick it up right at the end of the event. Or if we know that it's just been put in a refrigerator, overnight. We just need to sort of trust the partner that we know where it came from and that we know it was refrigerated.
Okay, that's good to know. We have lots of things going on that I'm sure the FeedNC could benefit from.
Yeah, I just see a lot of connective tissue
Yeah.
between, organizations in Mooresville, the events that your team creates, a lot of the businesses that are, doing similar work or have the opportunity to contribute. So I think that's really cool. So,
All right, well, we'll be right back on Heart Mooresville.
We'll be right back with more Heart Mooresville on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
We're going to be flirting with record warmth this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. It'll feel like an early spring day as high temperatures climb into the mid and even upper 70s for this afternoon. But enjoy that because tomorrow is much different. Extra clouds start to roll in mid-40s overnight. We'll only get back into the mid-50s for your Wednesday. Cloudy and cool and a chance for a couple of showers Wednesday evening and into the day on Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
How about savings off a brand new car? Randy, Marion, Ford, Lincoln, and Statesville. We've got our service loaners with just a few thousand miles on them. Save thousands of dollars on all makes and models. That's F-150, Expedition, Explorers, Lincolns, Corsair, Navigator. I tell you, these cars are like brand new. never been titled, you're the first owner, save thousands. Randy Marion Ford Lincoln, I-77, right here in Statesville. You know where we are, folks, right where the spinning car is. That's where the deals are. Randy Marion Ford Lincoln. Come see us today.
Harrison's is the home of work, Western, and wow! We're the Southeast leader in Carhartt, and nobody has more in-stock work boots. The store is filled with Harriet, Cinch, Wrangler, and more. Get great clothing and footwear for the whole family at Harrison's. Find us on Norman Station Boulevard in Mooresville.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Hello everyone, this is Joshua Doby, President of North Main Financial Group. At North Main Financial Group, we move to where you need us. Investment management, insurance planning, and estate strategies. No two people are the same, so we customize our planning based upon your needs. Reach out to us at northmainfinancial.com. That's northmainfinancial.com.
The Statesville Family YMCA reminds you that older adults and those with chronic health conditions don't need to feel they must accept impaired balance and limited mobility. Build strength, improve balance, and gain confidence in your mobility through the Moving for Better Balance program. For questions and additional information, email C. Mullins at ymcanwnc.org.
It ain't easy being number one, but we make it look good.
WSIC.
This is a Bloomberg Monday Minute. Not looking so great over at Estee Lauder right now. The cosmetics giant, whose brands include Clinique and Tom Ford, is upping its job cut plans. After saying last year it would cut 3,000 positions, it now says it'll be closer to 7,000. This after it swung to a loss over the holiday quarter as it continued losing market share to larger rival L'Oreal as well as upstarts. Salesforce says it's cutting more than 1,000 jobs, even as the cloud-based software company simultaneously hires workers to sell new AI products. Displaced workers will be able to apply for other jobs in the company. A fresh time, the U.S. job market at large ended 2024 with a whimper. The Labor Department's Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey, or JOLTS, shows the number of posted openings in December slipping from 8.1 million to 7.6, with the rates of workers quitting and being laid off both higher. Wall Street's index is flat to higher right now. Dow break even, NASDAQ gaining 1%, S&P up 0.5%. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
No radio? No worries.
Just ask Alexa to play WSIC.
Mooresville, how we feeling? Good. Welcome back to iHeart Mooresville on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back to iHeart Mooresville. I'm your host, Christine Patterson. We got co-host Don Smyle, and we're talking to the wonderful ladies, Laura and Shelby of FeedNC, learning about all the great things that they do for the community. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is job training. So I understand FeedNC offers job training programs. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we have a 10-week program for adults. They just have to be 18. That want to either get a better job in the culinary workforce or in warehouse. And so they spend 10 weeks with our staff in our building. We have chefs, 2 amazing chefs in our kitchen and, have owned local restaurants in the Mooresville area. They just choose, they're chefs who could work for any restaurant in the world, and they choose to give back with us, which is just beautiful. So they can teach these high-level skills, and then people can go out and get great jobs, and then we help them with job placement. So 100% success with job placement at the end of the 10 weeks for our graduates. And we're requesting that they're livable wages, which is, $20 an hour or more, because the only way to change their lives is really to have the income to be able to pay for their rent and their food and things like that. So we're recruiting right now, and we're really excited to have students, and anybody who's interested can just get on the website or give us a call. We have lots of room. We want to graduate more and more students every year.
That is amazing that you all do that. That's 100% success rate. Pretty amazing.
So what's one thing that you wish people knew about food insecurity in our community?
That it touches a lot more people than you realize. I think originally when the name was Soup Kitchen, people thought that it was all homeless folks, and we still take care of our homeless folks. We definitely do, including veterans and older people, but these are working families.
Mm-hmm.
90% of the people that we serve are not homeless. They have 2 and 3 and 4 jobs in the household. They have children in our schools. They volunteer in our community. Their kids play on the rec teams in our community. These are families, working families who are really struggling.
Right.
And so we have this excess of food in the United States, and it just seems like a win-win. Why would we put food in a dumpster when we could put it in the bellies of local children and families? And these are, again, families who are really trying. You know, they're working very, very hard.
Yeah, it seems to me that the takeaway from all that is that there's this perception, I think, for people who need those types of services to your point, that they're homeless or they're, drug addicts or they're whatever. And the point is the stigma associated with needing help. And I think what you've just clarified is, these are normal everyday people that you're seeing in the school drop-off line and who are working jobs with you and whatever. And food insecurity is a real thing for the average American. So I think that's important that we get rid of that stigma first and realize that this is a national issue. It's not about somebody being homeless. It's about somebody who just can't make ends meet sometimes, right?
Yeah, it's really a math equation by the time that you calculate rent, which housing costs are up everywhere and for every community, not just ours, but housing is expensive. And then when you add in medical care, child care, everybody knows what that costs. So it's just at the end of the month, if you make $15 an hour, the math does not add up. It just doesn't.
Right.
And that's usually when I sit and talk with donors or with volunteers to help them understand. This isn't a difficult to understand concept when you add $15 an hour times 40 or even 50 or overtime, and then you calculate the cost of, $2,000 a month in rent on top of childcare that is essentially an entire paycheck for many, many people. They just simply can't get to the end of the month.
Right.
I think the other part of that equation very quickly is the stigma associated with asking for help, right? Like you have to swallow your pride, or you have to, you know what I mean? You have to get beyond that and understand there are services in the community who aren't judging you. They are simply there to help.
Yes, and when we talk about the building being beautiful, which we're proud of, a lot of it was about dignity. So FeedNC stands for Food, Education, and Essentials with Dignity. And I would say that most soup kitchens don't feel very dignified. And so, when you're wrapped in a line around the building and it feels like Depression era when you walk into the building, that isn't a place that working families go.
Right.
And so I will tell you today that if you come into our dining room, you cannot tell who's who. Our mayor will have lunch there, and people in need and volunteers and donors, and you will have no idea who needs help and who doesn't. And that's one of my favorite things about that space.
Wow.
It is dignified, and when you walk in, you feel equal. And you feel love in that building, and you feel that nobody is judging you and that you're simply there to get a resource.
I love that. Do you feel like that stigma is getting any better or worse? What do you, over time, like what do you see?
Certainly COVID had an impact on it. I will say food security was something that people didn't think was going to happen to them or their neighbor. Then we had COVID, the world shut down overnight. In that moment, there was a strange understanding that suddenly my neighbor, who was doing just fine, lost their job, and they were going to be hungry in a matter of months if they couldn't go back to work. Maybe they owned a restaurant and they couldn't open it during that time. And so it was a good thing in many ways that people understood how quickly a family's life can change beyond their control.
Right.
A lot of times the stigma is about choices. Did you make poor choices that landed you in this situation? And certainly we all make poor choices. I do too. But that's not usually what it's about. A lot of it is about the path, their journey that led them to this moment.
Right.
And a lot of that is beyond your control if you don't have the education that you need to get a better job. So I hope it's getting better. I mean, I think there's more empathy in the world these days, certainly. And so I hope that, and the more that we explain, and I think the more that a space like Donahue's Open Door puts different kinds of people together, because you get to meet them. And when you get to meet them, you love them.
Yeah.
And there is no stigma because you see that they're just like you. And they're a mother raising 3 children, and she's trying to corral 3 children while she's eating her tacos for lunch. And it's just like you and me. And I think the more we can put people together, then they see who people really are.
Yeah, and I think food insecurity as a term in the normal lexicon of people's conversation is much greater now than it's ever been. because, for example, when I go to the doctor's office or go for a checkup, part of the paperwork says, have you experienced food insecurity, or have you felt like you couldn't, meet the needs of your family or whatever? Those things never used to exist. And so just by those questions being part of general conversation in everyday life, I think it has elevated that conversation and made it make people understand that it does exist.
Yeah, and I think even the term like underfed, I think you can have food, but maybe you don't have enough. Maybe mom doesn't get to eat tonight because she wanted to make sure that the kids eat. And so that's a thing too, so I think it's understanding that.
Well, and healthy food matters. I mean, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
You may eat something, but if you're eating Twinkies all day, every day, which is the cheapest thing in the store, or hot dog, I have a 16-year-old son. He could eat 14 hot dogs in a sitting. So, that's not the right thing to feed your child.
Right.
But when you need quantity at certain ages, that's what you do. And so that's the inexpensive part of the store, is the things that you need to fill kids' bellies with. And so they can have food and not be well fed.
Right.
That's the other thing. They're going to school. They need to have had protein. They need fruits and vegetables for their brains to work and to be able to learn.
Right.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I grew up on Twinkies and hot dogs, so maybe that's what's wrong with me.
Me
Should have
too.
gone to
Me
FeedNC.
Maybe that's what's wrong with me at this age.
No, and so for those individuals that, may be struggling with food insecurity, what is the best way for them to connect? Is it just simply to walk in the front door, or?
They absolutely are always welcome, yes. And if they want to do that, they can. They can also apply online, because some people might have transportation issues. They might not know how to get to us. The iCats bus comes directly to our front door, so everybody can get to us, but they might not know that initially. So if they're not sure, they can get online. They can call us, or they can walk in the door. And when they walk in the door, I think we've had a couple stories. One couple that was homeless at the time, who said that when they walked in the door, immediately their blood pressure just went down. The way that they were treated, you're afraid to take that first step. And then when you realize that somebody is going to treat you like a human being, then you're willing to say yes to all the rest of the resources. And that particular couple was able to come in and do their laundry. We have showers in our building and laundry. And so a lot of folks in our community are living in their cars, still working, but living in their cars. And so they need showers and they need laundry to be able to, and many of them go to work. They come in, they get showered, they get cleaned up, and they go to work and they drop their kids off. We had a family of 4, all 4 of them living in their car. The 2 babies come in and get their showers, and so they're functioning. It's just not easy to function when you don't have a home.
Wow.
Well, and I think, you talk about, people needing help. I think the stigma is so... It's such an important conversation, right? Because it is something that may prevent people from doing it. But what you just spoke about in terms of the dignity associated with that, I'd like to think that there's a lot of compassion in the world. Even with everything going on and all the divisions that we have, I see good every day. I see people being nice to people every day. And it just reminds me that that isn't necessarily what is true for everything. Like, it gets force fed down our throats if you watch social media or the news, but at the end of the day, that's not really what's happening in America. I think people are still very compassionate, and I think we still care about each other, and I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, if you need to see good, you see it every day, all day in our building.
Wow. Well, I know you have some events going on. We're going to talk about those after we get back from the break.
Yeah, and it's going to be the world debut of Shelby Bowen to tell us all about the events happening at FeedNC. So we'll be back here on WSIC's I Heart Mooresville.
There's more I Heart Mooresville on the way from 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
We're going to be flirting with record warmth this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. It'll feel like an early spring day as high temperatures climb into the mid and even upper 70s for this afternoon. But enjoy that, because tomorrow is much different. Extra clouds start to roll in, mid 40s overnight. We'll only get back into the mid 50s for your Wednesday. Cloudy and cool, and a chance for a couple of showers Wednesday evening and into the day on Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Bin 110 in Cornelius presents 3 consecutive nights of live music. On Thursday, February 6th, Anna Mertson performs. On Friday night, finalists from season 19 of The Voice, John Sullivan takes the stage, while Classically Rockin' offers up a big show on Saturday. Enjoy live music performances at Bin 110 in Cornelius this weekend. Calling all superheroes, wizards, and fandom fanatics, the Statesville Comic-Con is this Saturday at the Statesville Civic Center. The show runs from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets are only $5 for adults, $2 for those 12 years old and younger, and free admission for age 3 and younger. Make plans to bring your cosplay A-game, snag some epic merch, and enjoy all things comics, games, and pop culture. Whether you're a Marvel maniac, a Jedi master, or just love the vibe, the Statesville Civic Center is the place to be this Saturday for the Statesville Comic-Con. Sunday is National Pizza Day, and Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville is ready for you. From 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., the kitchen and bar are open for dine-in or take-out. Come and enjoy some good food and beverages or grab a to-go order in case anyone may be stopping by or you are visiting someone else. Come celebrate National Pizza Day Sunday with Ghostface Brewing. Get a behind-the-scenes look at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Dirt Track, and ZMAX Dragway. Learn the illustrious history of each track while taking in the sights and sounds of America's home for racing. Check out the special Race Week tours that can take you behind the scenes of some of the most famous race teams ever, or show you what the Speedway looks like when it gets ready to host a NASCAR weekend. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for more details and information on daily tours and experiences. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
All things Mooresville to keep you in the Noseville. Join in the conversation by calling 844-STUDIO-4. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to Heart Mooresville on WSIC. I'm your host, Don Smyle, along with Christine Patterson, and we're having a very enlightening and informative conversation with the ladies from FeedNC. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you the world debut.
Shelby Bowen.
Shelby Bowen, ladies and gentlemen. So Shelby is the communications coordinator.
That's a piece of it. So yeah, you're on track.
Trust me, it's my world. I see you. So I know there's a lot of events going on, and you're heavily involved in those. So why don't you educate us on what's happening in your world?
Sure. So February is our Heart to Table month, which encompasses many different things, but all of it just encompassing the dignity that Laura talked about that we want to give people who step into the doors at FeedNC. And I want to really quick share a story. Yesterday I had met in our building a mother and son who come in for services, and they lost their house last year and are living out of their car now. And they said verbatim that FeedNC is a safe haven for them. And so part of that is all of the events that we do throughout the month to make people feel like it is a home for them. Even the volunteers, I think that they love the mission, but they also love the family that they create when they walk in the doors. And so one of the things that we're doing, just focusing on heart health and also just, loving people, is our mindful meal options. And every day throughout the month of February, our wonderful culinary team are doing healthy, nutritious, mindful meals every day in Donahue's, and that's open to everybody in the community. We want, people to come on their business lunches, people who, maybe need the meal, but just really everybody is welcome to come enjoy that. On Valentine's Day, we are learning a little bit of balance, and we're having a pasta buffet for the day. It's okay to have a cheat day. So we have some wonderful different pasta options that they're going to have available, and that will be from 11 to 2, and we'll have trivia and prizes. It's going to be super fun. And then the last thing that we have is the Iredale Health System is coming on February 6th and 20th, and they're going to do blood pressure screenings and one-on-one coaching for our members or really anybody who walks in the door and just needs a little bit of help with, where they're at now and how they get on a healthy path. So just some exciting things coming on this month, Heart to Table, and we would love for everyone to come out and participate.
Well, I understand you came up with that Heart to Table.
I did.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like
can't
where you're
take
going.
Full credit though.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's a partnership between all the departments.
Sure.
And our culinary team at Donahue's gets really excited about all of the food, and they come to me. They're like, "How can we, bring this together with everything?" So,
Well, I'm
yeah,
a
it's great.
creative
Nice.
person too, so I feel you on that. So that's awesome.
Creative minds in the house. Mindful meal options. That sounds good. I like that. I have to check that one out.
Yeah, my wife would be a big fan of that. So she has a completely different diet than me. It's like she goes on these binges of wanting to eat nothing but fruits and vegetables and greens and whatever. And she likes to tease me all the time because she says, "I don't think anything green has ever passed your lips."
Yeah.
It's not true. It's not true. I'm here to say I'm a big fan of vegetables too. I just don't eat them as much as she does.
Yeah.
But that being said, if you are in need, obviously our partners at FeedNC are there for you, and their doors are always open. So we appreciate you coming and sharing your vision and mission with us, and we appreciate everything you do in the community.
Yeah. And last shout out, if people want to get involved, where can they go?
Go ahead, Laura.
FeedNC.org, definitely. Or come and see us on Charlotte Highway. You probably can't miss us if you drive by our building. Big, beautiful, open door all the time, Monday through Friday. We open at 8 and we close at 4. So anytime they can walk through the door and hopefully see a smiling face or 600 smiling faces.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Well, what's going on? There's always so much going on.
Oh,
In Mooresville,
yes,
in Parks and Rec.
In Parks and Rec. And I just want to touch again very quickly on the Summer Camp Expo. As I said before, this is a really unique and interesting opportunity to learn about all the things camp related in Mooresville and the surrounding community. As I mentioned, unfortunately, there's just a limited number of spaces available within the Parks and Rec ecosystem for summer camp, but the need is much greater. And so, again, big shout out to Latasha and her team for coming up with this idea of bringing all these providers into the same building and allowing families to be able to come and speak to them and learn about all the opportunities. So, you can learn about youth service providers. You can connect with organizations offering a wide range of services such as therapeutics, healthcare, education, and more. Again, free admission, Charles Mack Citizen Center, February 15th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So be there. Big news in the baseball registration world. Everybody always waits for spring ball, and spring ball registration is now open for the 2025 spring ball season. So we offer leagues for youth ages 6 to 17 and softball for adults. So registration will remain open until the 24th of February. So visit mooresvillerecreation.org to sign up. And of course, I just talked about Summer Camp Expo, but that means summer camp registration is right around the corner too. So resident registration opens on March 10th and non-resident registration opens March 12th. So mark those dates on your calendar. Again, visit mooresvillerecreation.org, or you can also come to our office at 750 West Iredale Avenue to register in person. So a lot going on in the spring, summer camp opportunities. We also have some great exercise programs. We have yoga, which happens at the War Memorial Recreation Center every Wednesday from 5:45 to 6:30. So if you're looking to kind of center yourself and find some opportunity for clarity, yoga is a great opportunity to do that. Again, War Memorial Recreation Center is on Wednesday. You can call the center directly, or you can go to mooresvillerecreation.org. We also have step aerobics at the Selma Burke Recreation Center, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Our ever-popular Fit and Strong program is back at the Winnie Hooper Recreation Center on Wednesdays and Fridays, and this is for older adults who are looking to stay active, but also to, create relationships with other individuals. I really love that program because it's a nationally recognized NRPA program. And it allows older adults to stay active, but also build a sense of community. Those individuals really like getting together every week and talking and keeping up with each other, and just a really lively group. So, and then if you're feeling creative, we have an open art studio, which happens at Selma Burke Recreation Center on Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So it's an opportunity for you to have young artists can experiment with different types of art, including watercolors, pencil drawings, acrylics, and more. A big fan of Maria Campagna, who's our art director and for Parks and Recreation. She is an amazing artist herself, and she makes art fun. And that's what it's all about, because we are the department where the fun begins. So, Christine.
Yes.
I'm all out of breath. You go.
Well, Parks and Recreation is where the fun begins. And then Mooresville Arts and Events is the hub of all things community and engagement. So we've got you covered on all the engagement opportunities. Lots coming up in February, the month of love. So we're giving you a great date night opportunity on February 14th and 15th, the Murder Mystery Dinner Theater.
I laugh at this every time.
What better way to celebrate love than with murder? Check in for murder. Sigmund Theatrical is the theater company that puts it on. It's amazing, and dinner's included. So there are a couple tickets
I was
left.
going to say, is there any tickets
I think
left?
it's like single tickets,
Okay.
but there's a couple tickets for.
Well, how can you have singles if it's a date night?
I know, I don't know.
Okay.
Like oddballs, so like three.
You
people
may
by
meet
three
your
by-
next date.
That's right.
Two singles.
Speed dating.
You never know.
Go around each table. Meet lots of
Murder
people.
mystery dating.
No, it is fun, but you can get tickets on MooresvilleEvents.com. But we did offer 2 nights this year because it sold out so fast last year. Also coming up is the Mooresville Day Festival on March 22nd.
Third annual.
Third
Can you believe
annual.
that?
I know. That's in
I
downtown
remember when
Mooresville.
you and I were locked in a room planning this inaugural event.
I know.
And now it's the third annual. I can't even believe that.
I know. It's so much fun too. And I love the school mascot dance competition. That's my favorite part of the event because you have the Blue Devil and the Langtree Lion and the Pine Lake Prep Lion. And they're all down there just battling it out to see who wins best mascot. And it's so much fun.
And bring your vocal cords because the winner is decided by who shouts the loudest.
Yeah.
Right?
So you will not have a voice the next morning. But so much fun. And then some exciting news to share is that our Bands, Brews, and Barbecue Festival is an award-winning festival now.
That is so cool.
I know.
You brought home the hardware.
North Carolina Association of Festival and Events recognized the event this year as Rising Star. It's one of 2 the major awards that they give out. So we're so honored to take that home. And one of our graphic designers or marketing coordinators, Alyssa Anderson, is now an award-winning graphic designer. We won Brochure of the Year as well for our Bands, Brews, and Barbecue brochure.
Congratulations.
Yes, so lots of fun things going on.
And I'm assuming that you're going to have some big announcement, in the near future about the musical act because you always bring, you bring it when it comes to musical acts.
Yes, we will.
So,
We are negotiating with some national artists right now, so we hopefully will get to announce soon who the headlining artist will be for the Bands, Brews, and Barbecue Festival. That's kind of our thing this year, right? Is like the big artist. It's what gets people down there. Then they enjoy some good barbecue.
well,
and
I just
beer.
think it's really cool that, and your mission when creating that was to create an event that was a destination for people. And given that this is going to be the 3rd annual one and the numbers that we see that attend those events, obviously you've succeeded in that. And now it's becoming a yearly thing people look forward to.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and of course, winning an award even validates that more.
Yeah, we're building Mooresville into a festival destination. That's the goal, right? So yeah, it's exciting. And then lastly, we are closing out our Town Stage Entertainment series at the Jovi Knox Auditorium with a Dolly Parton tribute show. So I'm super excited about this.
Hey, y'all.
I love Dolly Parton. Tickets are on sale for that at MooresvilleEvents.com, and this is the #1 Dolly Parton tribute show. So in the U.S. So
It'll be sold out. So if
It will
get
be.
your tickets now. That's all I can say.
Yes, and then shout out to some exciting events downtown. It is the month of love, and all month long, downtown Mooresville businesses are going to be celebrating. You can help decorate their windows with cutouts, enjoy some great discounts, and head over to the Sweetheart Sip and Shop on February 7th.
Cool. Well, just a quick preview of next week's show. We'll have John Dotson on from the UTI and the North Carolina Auto Racing Hall of Fame to talk about all things NASCAR and racing since Daytona is just around the corner.
That's right.
So, well, thank you, ladies. We appreciate you coming in today, and we appreciate everybody listening. We'll see you next week, and you'll hear us next.